Have you ever lied to protect someone you love, and then felt it was really to protect yourself? If that question stings a little, stay with me. Today you will see how a small habit can turn love into hate. You will also see the simple move that could have saved them. We start at the end, because that is where the truth is loudest. There is a kitchen with taped boxes against the wall. 2 wedding rings rest on the counter near a damp dish towel. A cracked white mug sits in the trash. A rubber plant leans toward a thin window and asks for water without a sound. A woman stands by the sink and stares at a gift receipt in her hand. A man leans on the doorframe and looks at the floor. They are not shouting. They are past that. The worst fights are quiet. Their names are Maya and Evan. They did not wake up enemies. They trained for it in gentle daily practice. You will recognize the practice. It starts with care. It ends with a ledger. Let me take you back to a day when they laughed at the same joke. It was a cheap coffee place with a wobbly table. The first gift between them was that white mug. The mug had a tiny chip even then, and they loved it anyway. They loved each other the same way at first. They made a home with clean plates and secondhand chairs. She liked neat lists and steady plans. He liked new ideas and last-minute risks. This mix can be exciting when there's plenty of air. It can burn when the room is tight. The first tight place was money. He lost a job and did not say it right away. He told himself he would fix it in a week. He told himself he was protecting Maya from stress. He also told himself he was still the same person he wanted to be. She felt the change before the words came. People feel tone before they hear facts. She also got a promotion and did not say it at first. She told herself she was protecting his pride. She also told herself it was not a big deal. The gap between facts and words is where stories grow. And the story they grew was called We Are Fine. He started to call his days consulting. She started to pay a little more of the bills without a talk. They still joked. They still kissed. But the air shifted a few degrees colder. One night, she found a simple idea on a blog about calm couples. Write annoyances in a note so you do not explode in the moment. They named it The List. It seemed smart. It felt safe. The first entry was a small thing about dishes. The second was a joke about snoring. They laughed and put the phone down. The next day, another entry appeared. A week later, there were 10. The list took on a calm life of its own. He had late nights and called them networking. She had early mornings and called them focus. Their timing stopped touching. This is where the quick cycles begin. A strange charge shows up on a bank app. A joke makes it lighter. A small aftertaste remains, and the list grows by 1 line. A text arrives at midnight, and no one answers it. A gentle excuse lands, and the air clears. The aftertaste stays, and the list grows by 1 more line. He said the word later a lot. She said the word fine a lot. Later and fine are 2 sides of the same stall. Then came the gift receipt. It was from a nice store and it was not for her. The date was months ago. It said keep for returns. She slid it into her wallet and did not ask right away. When you are scared, you collect evidence instead of help. The plant in the window started to droop again. They had saved it once together, with careful light and water. Now it leaned and waited while they checked their phones. The next cycle came at a dinner with friends. A mentor praised Maya for a tough project. Evan smiled and said she was lucky with timing. The line was light, and it still cut. She smiled to the table and tasted salt. That night she did not send his portfolio to a contact who asked. The next morning the plant still drooped. If you keep score in love, the prize is loneliness. She finally asked about the receipt with a level voice.
I found a receipt from a jewelry store and it is not for me. I bought something for you and then I returned it because it felt wrong.
He said it was a moment of impulse. He said he wanted to celebrate her but picked the wrong day. The words landed like a soft blanket. She opened her bank app later and saw the return date did not match. She told herself there could be a mistake in the system. She wrote down the date in the list without a comment. This is the rhythm that holds you while it drains you. Suspicion rises. A simple story calms it. A detail lingers and grows teeth in the dark. They tried to reset one weekend and bought paint. They chose a warm color for the living room. They moved the rug and the couch and turned on music. They laughed with paint on their hands. They said this is a new start. They even deleted the list and took a picture of the empty screen. That night, they made a new note for a lighter idea. They called it Things We Adore. The first line was a joke about how she romances spreadsheets. Her smile held, but her chest sank a little. The second line said he is fearless about money. He read it twice and did not sleep. A joke can be a knife if it points at a wound. He took a small gig that paid little and told her it was a bridge. He deleted a calendar entry that revealed a rejection meeting. He said the sink was buggy when she noticed the gap. She nodded and made tea and did not believe him. She closed a raise at work and told him it was a tiny bump. She covered the rent again and said it was easier this month. The list came back in secret with a new name. This time it was a folder of screenshots with times and words. Screenshots feel like safety because they do not bend. Hearts bend anyway. The cracked mug broke more one morning when the sink was full. No one picked it up. It sat there like a dare. At dinner with the same friends, the mentor praised Maya again. Evan told a story that put a bow on her achievement and also took some air out of it. Everyone laughed. The laugh was fine, and the message was not. She looked at him with a calm face that did not reach her eyes. On the way home, he asked if he had said something wrong.
You are funny, and I am tired.
I was proud of you and I made a joke.
Pride and jokes do not cancel each other, but tonight they collided. She did not send a message to the mentor about Evan the next day. She told herself she forgot. She did not forget. He forgot to water the plant again. He did not forget either. This is how love turns into rounds of small payback. You do not call it payback in your head. You call it balance. One night, the gift receipt came back to the table. She placed it on the counter without drama.
I want the true story behind this.
The truth is simple. I felt low and I wanted to feel like a winner again. I chose something expensive because it would make me feel strong for a minute. Then I could not give it to you because it would expose the lie about the money.
The room got very still. The truth was not about a secret lover. The truth was about a secret self. She breathed in and told her truth too.
I paid more of the rent to keep you from pain, and then I started to resent you for it. I also hid my raise because I did not want to watch your face fall.
They stood on equal ground and felt equally small. Then they did what many of us do when a hard truth arrives. They turned it into a trial about old details. She opened the folder of screenshots with dates and times. He opened his own folder that tracked her silences and shifts. They did not want a judge. They wanted a win. Winning is the most expensive habit in a home. He pointed to the night she ignored his message about a pitch. She pointed to the deleted calendar entry and the copied excuse. He said he was trying. She said she was tired. He said he was scared. She said she was scared too. They were finally honest, and neither felt safe. Love is a house with many doors, and each door needs a hinge that works. A lie is a loose nail, and the door will sag. That is our first metaphor, and it is a plain one. Back in the kitchen the next morning, the plant leaned harder. He touched a leaf, and it fell off in his hand. He put the leaf on the counter near the rings and stared at it. He sent 5 job emails before lunch and got 1 reply. The reply was a no. He did not tell her. She took on 2 extra tasks and said they were small. They were not small. This is the part where a single straight talk could turn the ship. The talk would sound like this.
I am scared and I am carrying more and I need help.
I am scared and I am ashamed, and I need your eyes on this with me.
But the talk did not happen. Instead, they went back to the list. A list is a knife with a soft handle, and you do not feel the cut at first. That is our second metaphor, and it is also plain. The next week had fast cycles. A credit card late fee appeared. He said the bank made an error and he fixed it. He had not fixed it. She found a hopeful email from a recruiter to him and did not mention it. She also did not forward a lead that would have helped. Each decision felt small and fair and private. The sum felt heavy and public in the room. The mug broke in 2 at last, when it slipped from a wet hand. The handle sat near the stove, and the body sat in the sink. They stepped around it all day. Late that night, the fight was quiet and direct. He said he was doing his best, and that her face told him it was never enough. She said she was doing her best and that his stories made her feel invisible. He said he felt small. She said she felt alone. It is hard to hold small and alone at the same time. They decided to separate for a while and see what the silence would say. The silence said nothing useful. It only made room for more stories in their heads. They met again to divide a few things and to set a date for moving day. On that day, the 2 rings sat on the counter and waited. The plant finally got water and stood a little taller. The mug went to the trash. They kept the couch and the rug simple. They were gentle with each other like neighbors. That is sometimes the last kindness. Before Maya left, she put the gift receipt on the counter for the last time.
I am not going to keep this.
I do not want it either.
She placed it under the rings without a word. He nodded and looked at the window. The room felt clean and sad. This is where I circle back to the first question. Have you ever lied to protect someone you love and then felt the lie was really for you? If yes, you already know why these 2 fell apart. They avoided small truths to dodge short pain. They paid long pain instead. They kept score to feel safe. Scorekeeping made them both lose. The moral is simple, and it is not cute. Tell the small truth early. Ask for help before your pride builds a wall. Do not write a list of faults when you could write a plan for one shared problem. If you must keep a list, let it track actions you both agree to try this week. Replace secret evidence with open time on the calendar. Replace jokes that sting with praise that lands. Praise is free and it is strong. The plant in the window did not hate them. It only needed light and water and attention. People are not plants, but we are not far. Light is honesty. Water is care. Attention is time with no phone face down. If they had done those 3 things on a plain Tuesday, we would not be here today. You might be thinking about your own house right now. You might be thinking about your own list. You might be thinking about one truth you have delayed. If this story gives you a nudge, use it tonight. Now I will give you a quick set of flashpoints that pulled you through today. A receipt that did not fit. A plant that kept asking without words. A list that felt helpful and then did harm. A joke that covered a bruise. A mug that waited too long for a hand. None of these items are magic. They are normal. That is why they matter. A normal thing repeated is how love changes shape. You do not need new tools to stop that change. You need a smaller gap between what is true and what is said. You need one short meeting with no defense on either side. You need one apology that does not include the word but. You need one plan that is boring and clear and written on the fridge. That is the fix that looked too small to try. I promised you a simple move that could have saved them. Here it is in 12 words. State the fear out loud and ask for one small help today. That is it. It sounds like nothing until you do it. It sounds like air until you feel the room change. You may wonder what happened to Maya and Evan years later. They did what many do. They built separate lives with careful habits. They were kind when they met by chance at a market. He asked about her work and meant it. She asked about his work and meant it too. They did not try to fix the past in a doorway. They let the past be what it was. There is a quiet grace in that. If you expected a sharp twist, I will offer a softer one. They both learned the same lesson on separate timelines. They learned that silence is expensive. They learned that pride is a poor guard dog. They learned that the truth placed early is a gift. If you are still with me, thank you for staying to the end. Your time means a lot to this channel. If this story moved you, please tap like and subscribe. Leave a comment about one small truth you plan to say this week. If you want to support this work, use the QR code on the screen or the link in the description to donate. You will also find links in the description to other series and other stories. They live in the same world of light and shadow that you heard today. Take care of your voice and your home tonight. I will see you in the next chapter.